All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure there may be a few people who jump in, but just so you know, I am recording this. That way we will have kind of like a video database of all of these sessions after the fact. So we are recording. For those of you who maybe don't know me, my name's Lacey Reinch, and I teach at Branson Junior High. I'm also the Canvas coordinator, thank you, Dr. Viets, for 7th through 12th grade. So some of you've already seen me today, especially if you're at the high school. I spent the morning up there training. And some of this will be a repeat. Thanks for that, Mr. Matthews. But some of this will be a repeat. And so just kind of, bear with me. I don't know where everyone's at level-wise. And there's a lot of people, 34 plus people in this group right now. So I'm just going to try to cover what I can. And then at the end, if you have any questions and if we have time, I will stick around and answer those for you. So this session is about Pillar 2. Now, if you're wondering what happened to Pillar 1, I am hosting that session tomorrow. And let me check my calendar here. That will be at 11 o'clock. So Pillar 1, which is about feedback. During that, tomorrow I'll cover SpeedGrader and Gradebook and the teacher mobile app. And I'll also go in depth with quizzes for that too. So that's Pillar 1 tomorrow. For today, Pillar 2, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about assignments, pages, discussions, modules. I'm going to show you the Google LTI tool. If you're not familiar with that, I think you'll really like that. Mention some stuff about commons and also announcements. So we have a lot to cover here. If at any point you have questions, because I am presenting, I may not see them pop up in the chat. And so maybe turn your mic on and just ask the question. If you think it's a question somebody in the group can answer, feel free to put it in chat, but I may not get to it. I may not see it right away, okay? Okay, I think we're ready to get started. So the first thing I'm going to start with is pages. In your Canvas course, in your template, you already had a couple pages that came over, and that's your student resource page and your parent resource page. So I'm going to actually edit one of those pages, and I'm going to show you the new rich content editor, which I know many of you are already familiar with, but there's a couple things that in case you're not familiar with that change, I want to show you that because you'll use it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Canvas. Here is an example of the template. Okay, I am going to go ahead, I'm going to go into, let's do the student resource page. When you look at yours, you probably have the text that is highlighted. Again, just a reminder, don't forget to delete that before you publish your course for your kids. But this is just a page. I can actually view all of the pages for this particular course in the Pages tab, okay? But I've hyperlinked this one to the student page. I'm going to go into Edit. And for this particular, to edit this, I'm not going to use City Labs over here. So I'm actually going to hit the exit. And I'm going to be editing, well, maybe. See, it's already not playing nice. Let's see. Cancel. Let's go this route. I think I still have my blue there. Let's do this. Okay. We'll just put that down at the bottom. So I'm not going to use, like I said, City Labs. This, I'm going to use the Rich Content Editor. And that's what I want to show you in Pages. And the Rich Content Editor allows us to do all of these things. Now, the old content editor looked similar, except for two things that we use a lot. Sometimes they're hiding from you. And that is this link button right here. If you do not see this button, you would need to click on the 3 dots here, okay? And it's probably hiding in here. We use this button a lot. We use this button to link to outside websites, and we're also going to use this button to link to different places in our Canvas course. So If I know that I want my kids to use no red ink, okay, I'm going to type that there. I'm going to highlight. I can go to my link, click external links, because this is not something in Canvas. I happen to know what the URL is, but you could, to be safe, just copy from the URL bar into here, hit done. So when I hit save, whenever my kids click on that, it's going to take them to No Red Ink. On the parent resource page, we've already hyperlinked to the Branson Canvas kind of tutorial page that's for students, teachers, and parents. So we do ask that you keep this here, but this is how, what I just showed you is how we created this link right here, okay? Now that's an external link. If I wanted to link to a particular assignment, module, or another page, let's say I do a grammar module. I'm still using that same button, but now I'm doing course links, okay? Here would be where I would look for individual modules or announcements. Okay, so let's say that that grammar module, it's English Essentials. So if I click on that, when my kids click on that, it's going to take them straight to that module. I could do just modules altogether. So if I were to highlight that and go back up here, course links, that's under course navigation. So click here. I want it to go to the module page so they can see all of them. And now it should be linked, okay? Those are some changes to the linking, okay? If you at any point, if you're having questions, just turn your mic out and shout at me. But so far, I feel like hopefully we're okay. I'm going to show you now another button that we will use often, and that is our apps button. That is almost always hiding in the three little dots here, okay? It's now like an outlet plug, what you'd plug into the wall. So if I click on that, this is where I would do my, maybe a YouTube video that I want to embed. This is nice because if you put a video here, they don't have to actually leave Canvas to watch it. So if I want this one and I hit embed, there's my video and they can watch it in here. This is also how you will embed Google Slides presentations. That's a very popular thing for people to do, and that's going to be in the apps button. And once you're in the apps button, your drive should show up. You would just go ahead, click through, find the presentation you want, and then you would hit the same type of thing. You'd hit embed at the bottom and it would show up, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and get out of that, but that's your apps button. It used to be a blue down arrow, okay? This is also where you would possibly embed or upload an image as well. So new location for that. Can I just get a thumbs up if we're good? Okay, great. Thank you guys. So that's pages. We'll go ahead and save this. If you want to make your own page, you would just simply go to the Pages tab over here, okay? View all pages, and you could add your own page from here. And then once you add it, if you would like to link it to an announcement or a module, you would already have that ready to go, okay? So plus page, name it whatever you would like, so grammar, notes. I can add anything that I want here. Save and publish if you want to actually your kids to be able to access it. But when I go to view pages, it's right there. And then you just use that rich content editor to make changes, okay? I'm going to now go on to announcements. I think most of you are aware of this by now, but we do need to send out an announcement every day, whether we are in school or outside of school, okay? Let's just take you on in there. When the template came over, you probably had an announcement template example. So just so you know, you do not have to use this right here. Or maybe you only use two, learning objective and bell work, or learning objective and agenda. And that's fine. Maybe you decide that your announcement's actually going to be a Loom video and you record yourself and you embed that in the announcements. You can use all of those same rich content editor features in an announcement. If you would like to keep this here, right now when you pull it over, it does publish it. So if you go to edit, if you just want to get rid of it, you can delete it. But if you think, well, you know what, I'm going to hold on to it because maybe I'll use some of these, you would just copy and make a new announcement and then paste it into the new announcement. But you'd want to go ahead and delay post it probably sometime next year. So kids, you know, never see that announcement. I know at the high school, we talked about this. We are needing to have some emergency plans in place in case we end up being too sick to push those out on our own. So announcements would probably be a good place to delay post a few. Maybe you create 3 review announcements. You delay post them into maybe next year. And then you need to add a buddy teacher, which I know we talked about this at the high school. I'm hoping you've heard this too, but you'll add a buddy teacher to your Canvas course, and then that person will be responsible for changing the date on that announcement and sending it out for you if you're not able to, okay? So that can be done through the delay posting button I just showed you. There's not a whole lot to cover with announcements other than you know it's already hyperlinked. To make a new one, you click announcement. I would encourage you, if you're doing daily announcements, you know, to probably name them all in a similar format, you know, so August 24th, 2020, definitely put the date in there. And then here's your rich content editor. All the same features appear. So the embed, the apps button, the linking, all of that is still available to you. If you want to post to all of your sections, you would just leave this. However, if you want to maybe only send it to your first hour, you would search for that section here and it would only push it out to that hour. So you do have that option. You can add a file if you like, and then there's that delay posting option here, okay? Those are probably the most important parts of an announcement, and definitely make sure you are able to send out an announcement prior to the first day of school. What I like about announcements, running slow here, but I already created all my announcements for the first week of school, and I delayed posted all of them. So when I show up for the first day of school, we know that it's going to be absolutely crazy, okay? I don't want to have to worry about sitting at my desk and pushing that announcement out because there's a really good chance I may forget that in all the chaos. So I already know that when I show up, Canvas at 7 a.m., it's going to push that announcement for me. And I already have one for Tuesday as well, and I have it delayed posted for Tuesday at 7 a.m. So some of the, we were talking to the elementary teachers, you know, they collaborate on Fridays, we all do. So they had talked about possibly getting together and making those announcements on Fridays, delay posting them, and then just knowing they go out when they need to the next week. What's nice about announcements is you can also do the send to button with an announcement. So if one teacher creates the announcements for the first week, they can send them to you. You grab them, put them in your course. You may have to make some adjustments. You'll definitely probably have to delay post them because they'll probably publish right away. But then that's a great way to share resources. So I'll see if I can show you that real quick. See if I hit cancel, it's not moving very fast. Okay. So the announcement does need to be, I think it needs to be live. Let's check it out just to see. Okay. So it does need to be a live announcement in order to do the send to. So let's just go ahead and we're not going to delay post it. Whoop. I'm going to go ahead and save so it sends it out. Now when I click here, oh, why didn't it? Hold on, let's see here. I should get the button to send to. There it is. Okay. So now I hit send to. I type the teacher that I'm working with. I type their name in there, find them, and I send it to them. Okay. And that, if you haven't seen this yet, will show up. If you notice, I have 2 send tos right here, shared content. So they'll get a notification. They'll click shared content, and they're going to see that you sent that announcement over to them. Okay. From here, you just click on the buttons, you import, and it's going to ask you to select your course, import, and then it should show up. Okay. Sorry, it took a minute for that send to button to show up. That send to button works for pages, announcements, quizzes, assignments. It does not work for modules. Modules still have to be sent to Commons in order to share those. Okay. Let me double check. I think we've got our announcements. Thumbs up if you're feeling good about that. And if you have a question, maybe just turn on your mic and let me know. And I just keep on going. So next up is assignments. So let's go back into that course. Right now, none of these buttons are linked to assignments. I use modules, and so I organize them all that way. I have had a couple teachers who said, okay, I'm not quite to the point where I can use a module, so this has been changed to assignments, or you can get to it over here in your navigation. So if I click on assignments, okay, so you can group your assignments. This is probably helpful for anyone who's using the gradebook feature and SpeedGrader in order to send your assignments to SIS if you weigh your classes. So right now, if you look at this for a kid, these assignments, that's worth 40% of their total grade, and quizzes is 60%. This is something that does get covered with Pillar 1 tomorrow with gradebooks. So if after the meeting you're like, I need to know that today, this one, and I have time, I'll show you how to do that. But creating the groups just happen here, and you could name them, and then you drag and move your assignments to fit the different group. Okay. If you're elementary, you're not too concerned about grouping the assignments or having them be worth a certain amount, then you don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and click assignments to add one. Not going to use City Labs for this either, but if let's say I'm going to make one that's for grammar presentation. Here's where I would give them, instructions. I could embed a Google slide that maybe has information that could be your instructions. You could hyperlink to a document that you want them to read first, or you can just type out your instructions here. Once you have that, here are some options. Here's your point value that you can change. You can assign it to the different groups from here as well. If you don't, you can kind of save you time with the drag and drop. You can display it in your gradebook as points. You can also just say, you know what, I don't want to assign points to it, but I want their parents to know they did do it or they didn't do it. So you could do complete and incomplete. Those are probably the two. And then if for some reason you're not grading it, you would use this option. Okay, I'm going to show you some things. I may come back to this external tool, but let's show you some submission types. So if you don't have them turning in anything, you would do no submission. Maybe you had a classroom discussion and it was for participation, and you kind of gauge their level of involvement and you gave a score on that. That may be a no submission for you. On paper, we'll use on paper a lot, even especially in my class as well, and that means that they don't upload anything to Canvas, they just physically hand it to you. Online will be used often. Now, when you click online, you have a couple options. Probably the two you'll use the most: website URL, file uploads. Okay, website URL. This is if you want to see a live document. If you want to see where they're at in the middle of their draft, you would click this and they would actually submit the website URL to you. So when you click on it, you're in the live version. You could also use this if they create something in an outside presentation format, and you know a lot of those have a share button. You would grab the URL, they could place it here, you click on it, and you would go outside of Canvas to look at it. The next one would be file uploads. So file uploads is if they turn in a Google Doc, or they could do slides, but this just takes a snapshot of it. So website URL from their drive is live. This is a snapshot. So if they turn it in and then they make a change and you've done just file upload, you won't ever see it, okay? Now you can set it for them to upload, as many times as they could sometimes do 2 or 3. If you do unlimited, just know you can go back and forth. Like you can see the first time they uploaded and it's time stamped, and so you can see the second time. So it doesn't just completely replace it without being able to see their prior uploads. So that would be for that. Another thing, you definitely, if you are junior high or high school, make sure you're clicking this button so it syncs to SIS. This will make it it'll push right on over to SIS easily, but you have to have this button. You can assign it to everyone. You can assign it to individual sections, okay, and have your due date. If you'd like to do this option, you can, but then you would hit save or publish if you're ready for everyone to see. Are we okay with that? Because I'm going to show you one really cool tool that if you're not familiar with, I think you're going to like it, but I just want to make sure you're ready. We're doing okay? Okay, so I want to show you now this external tool option here, okay? When you click find, you have lots of options. For example, we found out like Flipgrid works really well with this. If you need some help setting up your Flipgrid to integrate with Canvas, you need to reach out to one of the navigators and we'll get you a video tutorial how to do that, but this is where you would include Flipgrid. But all of us can do Google Docs Cloud assignment. So when I click on that, I go to my drive. And from here, let me see. Try to think what would be good. Okay, let's do this one. I'm going to submit and select. And now that's going to appear in the assignment, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Save, and let's save to it. Okay, so then they can see. Here's what's awesome about this. When a student goes in to do this assignment, they can actually type right inside here, okay, and not change your original document. It is actually going to be their document. They can type in Canvas, and then they're going to get a submit button, and they're going to click submit, and it's going to go straight into SpeedGrader, and then you're going to be able to look at it. It also saves a copy to their own drive. So I added my husband to this course. I made him a student, and I just tried, okay, we got to make sure this works well. So he did. He pulled it up. He typed right in it. He hit the submit button, and then I went over to mine, and I went to SpeedGrader. So I'm going to let you see what that looks like. I then said, okay, go to your drive. Is it there? He's like, it's there with my changes, and it didn't do anything to my original. So that's, I feel like, a pretty powerful tool for you to use. So if I had him do this earlier, I'm going to go to my gradebook. And it was with paraphrasing. So I'm here. I'm going to go to SpeedGrader. And when he hit submit, I was able to see this, okay? He had added his name, the hour. I can go over here and put how many points, okay? I thought this was not an appropriate response, so maybe I make a comment like not a valid answer. Okay, this is the power of SpeedGrader, and he gets 1 point because he didn't finish it, okay? I hit submit. I could also add a comment there. But then this gets pushed over to my gradebook, and let's just look at it. Let's see. As long as it's submitted, we should be able to go back to the gradebook and hopefully see he got a 1. It's no longer showing up as something I need to grade. So pretty awesome tool. Does anyone have a question about that? Okay, let me check and see if I've covered everything I wanted to. And looks like I did. Just know you can still use that rich content editor in assignments as well. So all the same rules apply there, okay? Okay, I think I covered assignments. We'll just keep on going down the list. Now we're going to look at discussions. Okay, not a lot to show you with discussions, but to add a discussion, you click on it, add your topic. Okay, again, I could embed something here, tell them what they're discussing for sure. That information would go here. I would decide if I send it to all of the different sections or not. You can also grade it. Okay, so if I hit graded, I then get some of those assignment options that I had that I just showed you. So again, I could decide this is worth 10 points. I want to make sure I send it to SIS. So this should be looking familiar since I just showed you, okay? Or you don't have to grade it, that's fine. So we hit save. Okay, publish it if you want them to be able to see it. But then your student would come in and type their reply. Let's just see. A feature that I use a lot is I like to look at things in student view, also because that's what your parents will see, something very similar to it. But if I go to discussions, hopefully we've got paraphrasing listed there, and they would click reply and they would go ahead. They have all the same fun things with the rich content editor. They would post their reply here. And their name would appear with the time that they posted with their response, okay? Leave student view. That's kind of the gist of discussions. I'll be honest, I don't use discussions very often. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. If I don't know the answer, I will find it for you. Is there anyone who uses discussions that wants to add anything to that real quick before we move on? I don't think they're very difficult to put together, so I think you would be okay. Okay, so next is modules. Modules is linked on the homepage here. Okay. Now, if you know how to make an assignment, create a discussion, make a quiz, if you know how to do all of those features in Canvas, you can create a module. It's not that hard, okay? Modules are used to organize your content. I use modules in everything that I teach. I organize them by units. Some people maybe organize them by week. That's totally up to you. But like I said, I do mine by units. So if you look at my Canvas page, I've got, my unit for term 1, and I've got my common assessment attached to that one, and my unit for the next, all nice and neat in the order that I will teach it. With modules, I do encourage you to maybe set them up in a similar fashion every time that you make a new module. So I like to start every module with a page, and on the page, I put the standards, I put the activities that they're going to complete, and I put the resources they're going to need. That's the very first thing they see in the module. And then from there, I organize the content based on the order that I want them to go through it, okay? So we've got modules here. You can see I've got one started, but let's say I'm gonna add a module. I'm gonna name this one research. You can lock it to release at a certain time. I don't use this feature very often. I just publish the modules when I'm ready for them to see it, but that's available. You can add a prerequisite. So this would mean they have to finish English Essentials module before I would let them do the research module. So that's an option for you as well. I'm going to go ahead and add, and it goes at the bottom. I can use the 3 dots here and make some changes. I can edit what I called this. That's right here. I can also get back to the prerequisites and the lock until. Right now, you notice it's not published. When I'm ready to publish that, I'll just click this and it'll turn green. I can move the module. This is one way. I can take it all the way to the top, or I can move it under another module, etc. You can also just drag it using these buttons right here. You can drag it as well. Some people like to put the current module at the top always, and so that's an option. And then obviously to delete it, if you create a module and you want to share it with another teacher you work with, you would use the Share to Commons button, and it would send the module to Commons, and then they could grab it and bring it over into their own course. From here, I'm going to start building. I'm going to add, okay, I can add any of these. I can add an assignment, I can add a quiz, a file, page, so forth. I can add an assignment I've already created, like one of these, okay? Or I can actually make a new example or a new assignment here. If I make it in modules, it'll also show up in assignments. If I make a quiz here, it actually is going to take me to the quiz section of Canvas, and it's going to show up in both places. So you're not recreating things in 2 different places. So that's nice. If I click new assignment, let's say I want this one to be sit and scramble. I like to indent after my initial introduction page. That's totally up to you, but you do have that option. If I click on that, there it is. To edit, I would click on it. I will go to edit, and notice it's actually kicked me over into assignment. So I'm not actually in modules anymore. I'm doing that same process that I just completed for assignments. Okay, and I'm going to save it. Save and publish if I'm ready to use it once I've filled in all of that. And it's in 2 places. It's listed in assignments, and it's also here. Okay? Doing okay with that so far? Okay. Let's say next I want to add a quiz. So for this one, I already have one. I can create a new one, or I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to go ahead and indent. I'm going to add this item, and then you see it appear, and it was already published, so it brought it over and published it as well. Other than that, I can't think of any other discussions. All the rest kind of work the same way. Thumbs up if we feel good about modules. Okay, I see some comments. I don't know. Dr. Vietz, you're a little bit... Oh, I see. It's just Mr. Matthews and Scott Miller there. But Dr. Vietz, do you have a question or something I can show you? No? Okay. Well, you know who to go to in your building if you need some help with modules, okay? I showed you, I was supposed to show you the share and copy to button. I think I already showed you that. So just to show you, let's maybe go to a quiz. If I click here, I have that send to option and I have that copy to option. So again, you can do that in assignments, quizzes, pages, announcements. I would expect you to use that often if you're sharing back and forth. The last thing I have listed has to do with Commons. So you can get to Commons two ways. You can get to it from over here on the left, or sometimes if you make a new course and you're ready to put the template, you may go through here. But if you just want to look around, you go to Commons. And what I like about Commons, you know, at the junior high, if we have a new English teacher join our department, all of our content's really already created in a Canvas course. So I have put my course into Commons for that new teacher just to be shared with Branson, and then that teacher can go in there and they can download it into a course that they created and use what they want. I do encourage you maybe to create we call them a sandbox course, but just have a place where you dump some things that you're not quite sure what's all there. But if you pull in a course and you put it in an active course that you use, you may be a little bit surprised at how much information you brought over, and you may end up not wanting a lot of it. And then at that point, it's a little bit, it takes some time to get rid of all that. So it's always a good idea to create a sandbox, put the course in there that you pull from Commons, and then when you like something, copy to your course. Use that copy to button that I just showed you and pull what you want from that, okay? So that's Commons. Again, I think I put on my presentation, sharing is caring. We are good at collaborating, but you just search. If you wanted to see, as you can see, we searched some history stuff for my husband, but here's the things that I've shared with my department. These are all modules that we're going to collaborate and use next year. And then you've got that template that I created for you. That's Commons. Super helpful. My husband, first year teacher in the district, the outgoing teacher put all of his stuff in Commons for him, and we went and grabbed it. And he's been going through it all summer, and it really gave him a leg up, I feel like. So using Commons is great for sharing information. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Let's just double check here. We talked about the emergency plans. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to change this so you can edit. Okay. So if you will please go into my presentation, and the last slide, click here and pick the right date, okay? You're going to pick Wednesday at 1. Somebody shout out to me if you can't edit, but you should hopefully be able to go put your name in there, and I will be able to take attendance that way, okay? And I'll probably lock it back down after you guys leave. So you want to go ahead and put your name in there right now before you leave this session, okay? Anyone have any questions? Anything else you'd like to see? Hopefully we're doing okay. So pillar 1, again, SpeedGrader, gradebook, quizzes, that's tomorrow. Because I had my husband enroll as a student, I'm actually going to be able to show you how to use SpeedGrader with a student in there, with work in there. I'm going to show you how that looks in your gradebook. So if you are a little unsure about SpeedGrader or gradebook, come on back tomorrow. And then next, I'm doing how parents can get into Commons. That's next here. Let me see. I've got some questions coming up. Let's see what I got. Can you link the sign-in page in comments? Oh, yeah, let me see if I can do that for you. Okay, let me know if that didn't work for you, but hopefully it's there. I see you signing up, so we should be good. Okay, 4 minutes early. If you're ready to leave, you're more than welcome to leave. I have another session starting at 2, so I can stick around in here if you have some questions, okay? But if not, thank you guys.